We're here with Lynn Marie, and Lynn Marie is a longtime Cleveland area musician who has moved down to Nashville. And anybody who knows anything about polkas in this area knows all about you, Lynn. But maybe you should tell the audience in case they haven't they don't know your history.
Well, I grew up in Maple Heights and was real involved with the Slovenian community. The Slovenian home used to be on the corner of Maple Heights, Stanley Avenue there in Maple Heights. And just grew up. My dad played a piano-style accordion and had a bar on Libby Road called Lud's Tavern. And he owned that for 20 years, and from my earliest memory, there was always music in the house. Birthday parties, anniversary parties, everybody was always playing, so polkas. So I just fell in love with them and grew up with them, and lived in Maple Heights until I moved to Manor area for high school.
And you started playing the button box?
I did when I was 11, and at that time, button boxes had a resurge in Cleveland. Frankie Novak was very instrumental in that, and there were button box contests all over the place. All the different Slovenian homes would have them and sponsor them, so I got real involved in that, and then just moved to Manor for high school. Spent my high school days out in Manor, so went to Lake Catholic.
Yeah, and so then at some point you went off to college.
I did.
And then eventually, when you became married, you moved to Nashville.
We did.
Right?
My husband and I decided that we wanted to be in an entertainment city, and we picked Nashville. And just being around the creative songwriting community and the creativeness of it is very inspiring. And so it was being in Nashville that really got me thinking that I could take polka music, which I was raised with here in Cleveland, and take it to a wider audience, which was my goal.
And you met someone that is a very well-known musician from Nashville, Chet Atkins.
I did.
While you were there. And he's your friend, I guess.
Yeah, he's a fabulous man, and I had just through word of mouth met somebody who played in his band, and they said, "Oh, you need to meet Chet." And sure enough, Chet called one day and said, "We're doing a show downtown in Nashville. Would you like to come and sit in?" And
now, is Chet a closet polka guy, or did he just like the accordion because of the Cajun feel? Or,
I think he just was intrigued by it. There's not many in Nashville, and I think the sound is so unique, and Chet is just open for anything different. So he said, "Why don't you come in and sit in?" And what I realized that night is that here I was with Chet Atkins Band, playing with a bunch of guys who had never played a polka before, ever. And we were doing Roll Out the Barrel and Just Because, and
they loved it, right?
And the crowd loved it, but it had a different sound because of the way the musicians were playing. And I got off the stage that night and I thought, there were no polka lovers in that crowd, and yet the audience was moved by the music. And I thought I could change it just a little bit and get it hopefully to a wider audience, which has been my goal.
Well, 1988, 1990, One Look came out. And was that your first CD, or
that was your my first one out of Nashville? I had done a couple CDs actually with a guy from Euclid, Joey Tomsick is his name. We did a couple CDs, and then I did one on my own here out of Peppermint in Youngstown, and then when I moved to Nashville, One Look was the first CD with
That's
the
what I really
producer.
For what you do now.
Yeah, One Look was the first CD with the producer Steve Ivey, and we've done One Look, and then we did Squeezebox in '99, and we did a Christmas record.
What's really cool, the times that I've seen, I saw you at Pod Boys.
Oh yes.
And, it's such an eclectic crowd. You've got so many different types of people there. You have a lot of college students, a lot of young people, a lot of middle-aged people, a lot of beer drinking fun people.
I don't ever know what to expect, and that's good. I feel like I'm reaching across the board, which is good.
You definitely are, and it definitely does work. I mean, you are exposing polka to a larger audience, and also vice versa by expanding the whole format of music. Really, it's all mixed up. But what you're kind of known for in '98, when you started to really make it on a higher level, you combined all of the different music, and just One Look. One of your famous songs from that is "That's What I Like About the North."
The North, yes.
Right, and that was played heavily here on WGAR.
Yeah, it was. WGAR first heard the song, and then they started getting requests for it all the time.
It's a funny song, and it's kind of poking fun a little bit at the South, but more good-naturedly, but more just kind of a pro-North thing, which is kind of cool.
It definitely is.
It's about time, right?
Exactly. When I first heard the song, I said, I'm a Yankee at heart. I love to sing about pierogies and polka bars and the Indians, and so I fell in love with it. So it's sort of
did that type you a little bit too much, maybe, or was that open a bunch of doors for you?
It opened a ton of doors for me, more than I could ever have thought. There's radio stations all across the United States playing that song, and
defies categories, really.
It really does. It's a polka, but it's got a jazz bass line to it.
Right.
So, and that's kind of what we've been doing with all of the polkas. It's still a polka, it's still the 2/4 beat, but we're adding electric guitar instead of maybe just a banjo or a saxophone of what you traditionalists would hear.
Your first CD was successful on that level, and you were exposed to many different audiences, but your second CD, it was up for a Grammy nomination.
Yes,
and
it
you're
was.
the first female in the history of polka music to be nominated for a Grammy.
Wow. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an amazing experience and an honor. And you know, they always say, oh, it's just an honor to be nominated. And I never believed them, but I really do. It really, really was. Was I disappointed I didn't win? Of course, everybody is disappointed. But you know what? I had so much fun and enjoyed it so much that I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And then, right from there, you went on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
I did.
And you said that, you told me yesterday on WELW on the radio, that was a little surreal.
It really was, and it still is. I think back to it, and I say that I get more nervous thinking about it now than I did then. You don't really have time to think about it, and the whole thing is so overwhelming. And then it was over, and I thought, that's it? It's over? We're set up here. Can we play a couple more songs?
The last gig was The Tonight Show. The gig tonight is at the Beachland Ballroom.
Beachland Ballroom. Yeah.
Cleveland.
It is so great to be home and to have my first gig be back in my hometown.
Isn't that nice?
So, yeah,
that is cool.
great.
You're coming
it's
back.
Great.
Where can people get your CDs? And we're going to have a lengthy show here of about 20 minutes of your music, but where can they purchase your CDs?
They're available at Camelot Music Stores, Record Towns, and Walmarts and Kmart's in the area. So.
And also.
And on the internet.
And what is your website?
It's Lynn Marie, LYNNMARIE.net, N-E-T. So.
And what does the future hold, do you think, for Lynn Marie?
We're in studio right now working on the next record, so hopefully that'll be out in the fall, and just more of the same, you know, pushing the boundaries, getting the stereotype of polka that you hear that is usually negative, that people...
Like a certain soft drink commercial that was out recently. That,
exactly. So just trying to push the lines and get more and more people to enjoy the music that is from my heart and that I love. And I'll never stray far from the traditional music that I grew up with here. I mean, I'll always include it in my set, and I'll always do some of those, but we're just...
It's fun, though. You're a pioneer.
Yeah, that's a good word. I like that word.
Pioneer.
Pioneer. That's a good word.
So we're going to listen to Lynn Marie now and her band. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much.